policeman is on the premises. What is he doing in here? The policeman is on the premises, y'all. What is he doing in here? Hey, run, Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe. I said, the policeman at the door. Run, Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe. Said the policeman won't let me go. Y'all, yo, welcome everybody. It is not the Remix Morning Show again, as I constantly have to remind myself when I come on this microphone. It is, in fact, Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the Friday edition. I was literally about to say the Sunday edition. When the fuck does that ever happen? Never. I'm semi discombobulated, maybe because I got outside and it experienced some outside air. It made me high, slightly delusional. Maybe I'm hallucinating still. So welcome everybody to the program. Of course, we're going to get into what in the fuck is happening in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Not my hometown, but I feel a deep affinity for DC, its residents, its culture, its heritage, and definitely its future. Okay. I need Black DC to remain a thing out here. And in spite of the Trump administration's best efforts, Washingtonians are resisting the president's federalizing of DC's own police and the unleashing of almost 900 federal agents on the streets of Washington, D.C., basically to harass and antagonize DC's Black and brown youth, and of course, our undocumented population. So, we got some clips we're going to get into here, y'all, because the shit is real. And then it's real. Let me not even make put any inflection that would cast any doubt. But there was some movement today, at least on the legal side. So the DC attorney, DC's own attorney general, not Judge Janine Pirro, not her. His name is Brian Schwab. He's been recently elected. He hasn't been in office that long, regardless. So he filed a lawsuit yesterday, against the Trump administration, claiming that the president does not have the authority to totally take over the Metropolitan Police Department, which is DC Police, because the announcement came down Thursday. What the fuck is today? Thursday, August 14th, that Pam Bondi's executive order gave emergency powers over to the DEA chief. Now, I know this is a bunch of alphabet soup fucking chicanery. I get it, y'all. But it kind of matters here a little bit, because in addition to what the ordinary residents of DC and even people who have to pass through DC for business and other things, in spite of the trepidation people are experiencing right now, there is a legal fight going on, and it could determine whether or not DC will be able to govern itself going forward, because it definitely appears as though Trump wants to put DC in a headlock and never let up, right? And that cannot be allowed to run whatsoever. So let me catch y'all up. So Monday, God damn it, now I got to know dates and shit. What's today's 15th, Friday, 14th. Was it Monday the 11th? 8/11? Fuck it. Monday. Y'all look it up. Monday, Trump announced the federalization of Washington, basically taking over authority over the police and saying there's some excessive crime, etc., whatever. Pam Smith, the DC police chief, right? Unaffectionately known and will be referred to hereafter as either Buckshot Pam or Beady Bead Pam, will be accepted. Metropolitan Police Chief Pam Smith, upon this announcement that the Trump administration was going to offer a federal partnership to the Metropolitan Police in efforts to, quote, bring down crime, which happens to be at historic lows in the district, Buckshot Pam was like, we welcome the opportunity to share information and work with our federal partners, and we appreciate any efforts that the president wants to do to help bring more safety to the streets of Washington. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. BIDWKB Pam went so far during the course of this week. Okay, she said all that this week. She also took it a step further. Washington, D.C. is a sanctuary city, okay? Like on the books, a sanctuary city. So Buckshot Pam took it upon herself this week to issue an order to the Metropolitan Police telling them that they can share information with federal agencies pertaining to undocumented persons that may have their information in the system but may not currently be in DC police custody, right? Basically just opening up the database. Like whoever y'all find that cross references and cross matches all your little data points, you know, undocumented, blah 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 blah, brown, black, blah blah blah. BIDWKB Pam said she was gonna let the FBI, ATF, whoever the fuck, all these alphabet boys have access to that information that they previously did not have. She complied further with Trump and his administration. Just like Muriel Bowser complied early and in advance when Trump initially took office, clearing unhoused encampments, right? Breaking up the Black Lives Matter Plaza. Muriel Bowser said, oh, Mr. President, oh, you don't like the homeless encampments? No problem. We will do whatever it is that you like. Mr. President, what do you like? You do not like Black Lives Matter? No problem. We will do whatever it is that you like. That was Muriel Bowser. So, as a reward for all this compliance from these Black women, Muriel Bowser, Mayor, Buckshot Pam, Chief of Police, this is what they got in reward for being so helpful and so open and so welcoming to the Trump administration's plans. Will, can we run that package, please? Thank you.
I think you're going to do that. No, I think you're going to do a fantastic job.
Days after President Donald Trump directed federal law enforcement to take control of the Washington, D.C. Police Department, Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday named Drug Enforcement Administration Chief Terry Cole as Emergency Police Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department. The DEA says the action means Police Chief Pamela Smith will have to get Cole's approval before issuing department directives.
The Chief of Police has been very accommodating. I have an office there in the Metropolitan Police Department. Very accommodating to introducing me to the entire command staff. Very open to sharing ideas on how we're going to do this together.
But D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who has largely responded diplomatically to the administration's actions, wrote in a post that there is no statute that conveys the district's personnel authority to a federal official. And Friday morning, the D.C. Attorney General filed a lawsuit to block the federal takeover, claiming the administration is infringing on D.C.'s right to self-governance. The White House says National Guard operations have expanded to 24 hours a day to fight crime. Statistics show violent crime in the city surged during the pandemic, but has gone down since then. President Trump has, without evidence, criticized the validity of those statistics, saying his administration will release its own crime statistics.
But they're phony crime stats. And Washington, D.C. is at its worst point, and it will soon be at its best point. You're going to have a very safe, you're going to have a crime-free city.
The president has the authority to federalize the D.C. police for up to 30 days and says he will ask Congress to extend the takeover past that. The move to name Cole as emergency police commissioner came just hours after Chief Smith directed D.C. police officers to share information about people not in custody with immigration agencies. That's a significant policy change for the sanctuary city. In Washington, Harry Lee, Spectrum News.
And I love it for the Uncle and Auntie Toms. I love it for them. Hold on. You did more than what was asked of you. You opened the books, as it were. BIDWKB Pam, Buckshot Pam. You opened the books. You opened the database of your sanctuary city police records pertaining to, and again, DC is full of people from other places, right? I'm sure lots of people have had encounters and contacts with cops, likely a lot of them probably non-criminal. My point being is, girl, you did all that just to get a demotion. Wow. You gave your replacement office space and introduced him to everybody. You took them around the office. You showed them where the break room was. You gave them the code to the bathroom. Look at you. Look at you, Buckshot Pam, B2B. Pam did all that just to get a demotion. Wow. For an unqualified white man. I don't know. He probably looked qualified, but I don't know. But all the crackers look like Klansmen, so I just assume they're amazingly qualified to be police. I don't know. So that was that was the Washington political leadership this week being accommodating and getting fucked anyway. Wow. Let me say this real quick. So Muriel Bowser had to come back to the city. Muriel Bowser, the mayor, was actually out of town for part of this week. She was in Martha's Vineyard. And in defense of Muriel Bowser, she said, and she is a single mother. She said her kid was at camp. I said, girl, what kind of black bougie camp your child go to all the way up Martha's Vineyard? I'm sorry. DC metro area is not bougie enough. Your kid got to go to a camp at Martha's Vineyard. Whoa. Okay. Anyway, so Muriel Bowser was not in town. The DC City Council, I think they're on some kind of recess. So in terms of like hearing from elected leadership in the city, it's been a little scarce, right? The DC Attorney General Brian Schwab, as you heard, filed I think what was supposed to be like some sort of temporary restraining order this morning in district court. And this evening, there was an agreement ruled before a judge. So I don't think the TRO to prevent Donald Trump from assuming control over the Metropolitan Police, I don't think that was granted. However, the parties, the district represented by the attorney general, the DC attorney general, came to some sort of agreement with the Trump administration temporarily until they will be heard again in court next week, in which the Trump administration is going to have to answer, I guess, somewhat satisfactorily to a judge. Number one, is there a national emergency? Is there a national emergency that justifies the president's invocation of these powers, right? Which does not happen very often. And what was the other question that they had to ask or answer, rather? I don't fucking know. But let me tell you all this shit. But let me tell you something. Even though there is black elected leadership in DC and in a good many of these cities, let me explain something to y'all how it works, not only in America, but in DC and the DMV in particular. While black folks do well, have some political representation, do better than average economically in this area, white folks gonna get their way. Okay, like white folks are going to get their way. And Muriel Bowser and Pam Smith can boohoo and stamp their feet. And trust me, I don't agree with what the Trump administration is doing. However, I do understand that these two persons in particular, Muriel and B2B Pam, have put up very little resistance, if any. If any. I don't think that they have said, no, we're not going to accept this. This is they both use words, I think, like unprecedented. I think Muriel Bowser even went as far as to say this is unsettling. Wow. Tough language there, Mayor. It's definitely not spoken like a Washingtonian that has been here multi-generations, as I think that Muriel Bowser has. But again, she is a tool of the empire, the domestic version of a comprador, right? As our Commodores. Well, I guess they could be the Commodores, our comrades. they could be the Commodores also. I meant to say comrades. It came out Commodores. I want us to look at some videos, guys, because the harassment is real. And let me say this really quick. So as y'all might have sawn, whoo, my grammar is on fire tonight. As y'all may have sawn, let's go with it. As y'all may have sawn yesterday, I did a live. I was outside and at the rally that was held by, obviously, you guys know, a number of organizations that are home to some folks that we hold near and dear. Of course, the Black Alliance for Peace. Shout out to the Pan-African Community Action. Shout out to all the folks. So we went down there and the police were deep, didn't see any National Guardsmen. And along like the main routes, at least as for yesterday, like Rhode Island Avenue to 9th Street to I Street, like it was I saw MPD out there in force. Didn't see them alphabet boys. I didn't see them. So I just, well, but I mean, I just, from the other observations that were being relayed, it was communicated clearly that Metropolitan Police were out in force. Alphabet boys, not so much, but that was downtown. I think in the neighborhoods, it did look a bit different. So we are going to roll through a handful of videos here. Good brother Will. Hold on. Let me. So yeah, let's go ahead and hit that one. And then we're going to hit it on the one and on the two. Hey, gang, do me a favor. Like what you're seeing here, please. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome to any new subscribers that we have. We did cross over the 8,100 threshold. Moving on up like a Jeanette Dubois song may have said. So, well, I should have asterisked these, but I didn't. So it's all right. Go ahead and run at least the next 4 joints. You can spin them joints. You can run them joints on the table. And we'll just go through these videos. If I need you to stop for one, I'll ask you to. But so again, y'all, what you guys are going to see here is a mix. And with intention, I have included clips of Washington residents, of DC residents, particularly Black residents, roasting the absolute fuck out of these cops. I need y'all to know that these cops are being humiliated, okay, in ways that only a Negro from Washington, D.C. can do it. I can't overstate to y'all likely the number of people that may have unalived themselves after being dressed down. I mean, it's that painful. Like, anyway, don't believe me. Believe your ears and your eyes. So, Will, let's go ahead and run off at least the first 4. Toot sweet. Thank you so much.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro, when you get home, tell your wife you grab dicks for a living, bro. Hey, when y'all get home, make sure y'all tell y'all wife that y'all be grabbing niggas jumps for a living. Make sure y'all wife knows that's what y'all do when y'all ain't home. And why you ain't hold the door for us, brother? Why you ain't hold that door for us? You gotta let the door slam all on the resident? U.S. Marshal. Oh, nah, that's a U.S. Marshal. Let me wash my mouth. He a U.S. Marshal. Yeah. What the fuck is HSI police? HSI, I'm about to look that shit up right now. This shit I ain't even heard of. HSI police. HSI police. Homeland Security. Oh yeah, they really clap shit. Homeland Security, they really clap shit. I ain't gonna lie. Damn, that shit. Damn. They got fresh rental jumps. He just locked the door like we about to walk up to that jump. We don't want no problem. ATF. I heard about them on the movies. Damn. They really clap shit. Bro, they really kill niggas and shit. Damn. I heard about them. HSI. I heard about Homeland Security. That's all that one show. When they smoked that nigga. That black nigga. I seen.
Nah. All night. You got a camera in my mouth. You got the light in my face. What the fuck? We can do this shit all night long. All night. All night. Nah, you just ugly as shit. Why you crying? Why you crying? What's wrong? Well, I ain't do nothing to you. Why you crying? Why you crying? Look at him. Go ahead. Oh, all right. We got you, McGruber.
Gentlemen, up on the sidewalk, please. You got the
I got you, McGruber. I got you, McGruber. I'm just fucking with your swag, white shirt. I'm fucking with your swag. Them other niggas be looking all, you know what I'm saying? All stuck up and shit. I'm fucking with your swag. Oh, nah, you gotta get in that gym, twin. That shit ain't nothing. Oh, no. You gotta get right, twin. And your ponytail little as shit. And you drive flat in the back. Hold, twin. You ain't nothing. You drive flat in the back. Oh, twin. Get right. Oh, you gotta get right, twin. You gotta do some squats, twin. Yeah, you gotta do some squats, twin. You drive flat as shit. Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, I'm gonna see y'all later, man. Y'all have a nice day, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Go ahead, man. I'm gonna see y'all later, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Go ahead. Where the rest of them at? See y'all later, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, bro. Suck it in. Damn, twin, that what you on? Oh, nah, twin, that's a mean joke.
You trying to run a nigga dick over?
Damn. You mad because I told your man his little butt little as shit? You was a bitch.
The police stopped me thinking I was somebody they was looking for.
She's smart. She got a smart ass mouth. 5. I do too, though. I promise you. I do. The fuck? I don't know what the fuck wrong with you. Boy, I promise you. If you ain't had that uniform, I promise you. I ain't say nothing. I know not to make threats. I know not to make threats. You think I'm dumb? You think I'm dumb? Get your geeking ass on somewhere. I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't even talking to you. I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to her. I'm gonna say what I want. Y'all just messed up the wrong person. No, y'all. No, I promise you. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I can't make threats. I know what I can do. I can't make threats. I said if she had a uniform, she wouldn't be talking like that. That's what I said. Stay over there. What I say then?
You know what you said.
What I say? Want me to play the video? Because I'm recording. You want me to play the video? All right then. Fuck wrong with you. Y'all be slow as shit. Najee Allen. Because I'm hot and I'm irritated. I just got off the train and I'm ready to go home. No, it's irritating. I don't like how y'all talking. I'm ready to go home. Yeah. And I was only being rude to her. I said, can you just cut me down because it's all boys right here?
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be recorded. All right?
Go ahead, record them.
Turn this off.
You guys stop abusing your.
Yeah, you picking with this boy. All this shit.
How many times you take that badge off, I'll beat you the fuck out here, bro, because you abusing your authority. Bro.
No, Steve, no.
No, you really no, because you abusing your authority.
Pull your shirt, I'm showing though.
Listen, no, you abusing your authority, bro.
You talk that shit, you get locked up for terrorist offense. It ain't worth it. You ain't an answer.
But you're picking with him.
I'm not picking with him.
Who is? Then can you just go to the block
this.
and just spit the block, then you turn and all this extra shit?
Listen, why is your voice cracking?
Because
you're wrong.
You damn wrong, bro.
I'm wrong that he didn't have a gun, yes.
No, you damn wrong.
That nigga just said I'm wrong. He didn't have a gun.
No, you just went in my pocket.
Yeah, that's.
You just touched my pocket. That's harassment. You can't even touch me. What is you talking about, bro?
Don't let him get you out of the camera. You tried to tase him and he was just He's not even.
I had it out.
But for what?
You just said you got the car, you gonna tase me. That's a
It's
threat.
so much. It's
That's
a lot of shit going on out
Big
here.
ass bitch, bro. You a bitch with a badge.
All right, that's fine.
Are you being a bully?
Be safe, right?
Go ahead, run that last one, Brother Will. We show the whites that they have a part to play.
You are surrounded by a mob of people that hate you. Go home.
Leave us alone.
That final video, I think, was from the U Street corridor area, and it was from Wednesday night or Thursday night, where a lot of residents in that video, primarily white, came out to not only alert drivers that there was an ICE checkpoint ahead. So the folks came out and was trying to intercept people further down, I don't know, I guess Florida Avenue, and tell them that don't come all the way up this way because there's an ICE checkpoint. I think it was at 14th and V at the time. And then the ICE agents were out there on the U Street corridor, and then they were greeted by this crowd. And I'm not sure, was it the same night that the white dude, the 37-year-old white man, what was his name? Sean Dubb, Sean, threw the Subway sandwich at the officer, and he was charged with assault. But don't worry, you guys. The white man who threw an item and who was charged with, I believe, felonious assault against a federal agent, he's already been released from jail. The judge didn't see the need to hold him. Why would you hold a white guy who threw something at a federal agent? Don't be serious. So those are some scenes happening from in and around DC, everybody. Now, to be clear, like, all areas of the city are not experiencing this shit equally. Places where there are unhoused encampments, where unhoused residents obviously have been congregating and sleeping outside, trying to find community safety. Those encampments have been absolutely targeted. Down at Union Station, there has been reports. Union Station is the train station. Well, one of, but the Amtrak and the Metro all run through Union Station. But Union Station is a hub in the city, and the unhoused people have been targeted there. They've been targeted all over the place. And to be clear, Muriel Bowser went along with all of that. Muriel Bowser said, "Oh, yeah, no problem. We can get right on that, Mr. President." And then she directed B2B Pam. Pam, we need your officers to go out there and clear those encampments. And Pam said, "Yep, no problem." Look at what you get. I'm telling you, it doesn't pay to be a company man, y'all. I've never subscribed to that shit. And trust me, I have seen people ascend by being just tremendous brown nosing, kissing ass. I'm like, does management want your lips on their anus all the time? I've seen people absolutely win that way, but it just doesn't seem, it never seems like a long-term winning strategy, or you will end up taking a serious L at some point being a company person, especially as a black person. That shit don't make no fucking sense. So I also want you guys to be tuned in. I didn't want to pull too many clips because Will was like, "Nigga, enough." But please go on Instagram, apparently, where the constant footage and the covering of the ICE raids and the actions against ICE out in Los Angeles are happening, also happening out in Portland, Oregon. Please tune into this shit. Go look for it. Go seek it out. Tune into it. There are major things happening really on both coasts. And it's just emblematic, really, of what Trump is trying to achieve. Well, firstly, he wants to make sure that no one is talking about the Epstein files, right? He wants to make sure that there's no room to discuss the Epstein files because he is taking greater and greater lengths to strip Washington, D.C. of its home rule autonomy, right? So if Trump is doing that, fucking over D.C. whilst meeting with Putin in Russia, where can the news find 3 whole minutes to question him about the Epstein files? Okay. We have a sitting president, and likely not the first, probably not the second, third, fifth, 20th, or 50th president, honestly. Well, I know we're only on 47, but still, I don't care. I'm sure future presidents will also have dealings with pedophiles, right? Like this president, like previous presidents before him. And if his base is okay to allow that to just slide by the wayside, America is far, 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 far lower in moral decline than we initially thought. And to be clear, America is in hell. Okay. If there are subfloors to hell, that's where America is. I can't even say that America is a moral decline. That's almost like an oxymoron. Like, what? How could the most depraved nation get any worse? How could they fall any farther? So there's that. So Trump don't want nobody talk about Epstein, so he's doing all this bullshit to DC. But of course, there's a greater conservative plan there, always to strip Washington DC of their ability to govern themselves. And I've seen even some talking points from right-wing conservative commentators that claim that DC is such a shithole You might as well bulldoze it. Might as well bulldoze entire neighborhoods to the ground. I said, wow, how Israeli of you. And that's again, y'all, the further that this shit gets deeper with Trump, the easier for me at least it is to quickly put those connections, maybe not so quickly, but to put eventually to eventually make those connections between what this country and nation states that we support, even fake nation states like Israel, the shit that America allows abroad, America does here and will continue to do here and ratchet up here. Like they literally want to make DC Gaza. And I know that sounds like hyperbole because there's no actual bombs falling on DC yet, right? But what American history and America crackerdom and American law enforcement has told us, they're not above literally dropping a bomb on a black neighborhood, as we know what happened in Philadelphia with the MOVE bombing. So, like, that kind of shit is not unprecedented. They have done it before. Why wouldn't they do it again if it served their interests? There is a protest happening right now in front of the White House. They were scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure how many folks are down there, though I would imagine there would be a good turnout. It is incumbent upon folks to both be mindful of your own safety, of your own risk assessment, like assess for yourself, like what level of risk are you able to take, who depends on you, what are your means of self-support, who would represent you, can you afford representation, can you afford bail? I mean, I know I hate to I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing anything. I just want us to be sure that we're thinking practically, right, about and realistically about our own actual realistic material condition, and then assess if an action is something that you can risk. And some would even say you can't risk not taking action when the threat is come to your community, it's come to your neighborhood, it's come to your streets, it's come right in front of your face. How could you even consider staying inside? But the real actual facts are some folks got outstanding warrants out here, okay? Some people's immigration status is not gonna, cut the mustard, right? Like some folks literally would be risking their freedom by taking part in action. So just keep all that in mind. Keep the general well-being and safety of others when you're headed out to these places. And if you are a person that has a tremendous amount of social capital, social, relatively speaking, social protection. Are you a cisgendered white male and you're about that action? Carry your ass the fuck outside. You need to be out there first and foremost, going outside. Because again, like the white man who threw the sandwich at the federal agent who was charged but immediately released. That be the shit I'm talking about. Whites, you can do a lot out here, baby. The world is your oyster. The system is not used to responding to you, right? They don't know what to do with you, right? They what is the judge seeing the white guy who threw the sandwich at the federal agent? What is this white man doing in my courtroom, son? Man, 37 years old. Son, you just made a silly mistake. Like they're not even accustomed to seeing defendants of this person. By the way, this guy is what's his name? Sean Dubb. Former DOJ employee, hilariously, and now being charged by the DOJ, but again, not in jail because he's white and male. It's amazing. Superpowers. Please pay attention. Stay in tune. If you live in the cities that the president has mentioned beforehand and you know who you are, the Philadelphia, the Baltimore. Oh, you want to hang out in Baltimore. Oakland, California, Detroit. I don't know if he mentioned Detroit, but Detroit, y'all always. Chicago, you know what it is. NYC, you know what it is. Start your strategies now. Get with the organizations, get with the mutual aid groups. When that fight comes to you, when more ICE, Homeland Security, and the rest of the alphabet boys come to your block, or come deeper into your block because they probably already been there. But when they come to your block and they're looking like they're doing in DC, what's going to be the response, everybody? Time to figure that out is right now. I want to take a quick little breaky poo. Can I please extend some thank yous? What's up to Mike Mack? Mike Mack, thank you so much for your support of the channel per usual. We appreciate it. I think I saw some boxes rolling up.
Yeah. We want to give a shout out to Swery Ferry. You did great last night, and that blue is Flames.
The what is Flames? The what is Flames?
The blue.
Oh, the blue. I'm like, what blue? I'm right, nigga. You're wearing blue. Yes, thank you.
Yep. She went out one day, y'all, and this
right.
So shout out to 2Fs. We burned this MFer down. Your YouTube's editing my cusses.
Oh, boo.
Fight me, YouTube. So shout out to 2Fs.
Thank you, Franny.
We appreciate the super chat. And shout out to Richard Snow. My sister is always speaking the truth. So
that is my brother from another mother. Thank you so much to Rich. Big up.
Got 200 people in the chat.
Come through, chat.
Yep.
Welcome.
Like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody coming through. And thank you, Swery Ferry, for the compliments on the top and for my videography. I'd like to thank my assistant director, Latif, and of course Ricky Ryan for the cinematography assistance. If you want to go look at the live from yesterday, because again, I was downtown. Shout out to all the organizations that came out and held the rally to, say that, this is not a new fight out here. Big up Jackie Lukman, Darker Than Blue, WPFW. Jackie was out there talking. Shout out to Paca. Shout out to Bap. And shout out to the Metropolitan Police who was out there. And they did not act like suckers. They was just out there, I don't know. I think they were in my live though, actually. I suspect that they were trolling because apparently we had a lot of trolls in the live last night. And I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Ricky Ryan pointed out to us that it was a copper on top of the Washington Post building over, what is that, Franklin Square Park. And we saw the cop just up there observing all of, the black and brown and Asian and, indigenous activists that were assembled in the park. And it's like, oh, look at Jeff Bezos making his building available for to come and, make some observations. Shout out to Richard. I love you, Big Rich. Big up Chuck Diesel. Chuck Diesel, your birthday is tomorrow? Oh shit. I forgot we was Leo deep out here in the fire fam. I forgot how many lions is in the pride. Chuck Diesel. Y'all, please flame emojis for our OG moderator. Okay. Chuck Diesel had a ranch before anyone had a ranch. So please flame emojis up in the chat for the bruv, for the OG MOD out here. Thank you so much, Chuck Diesel, for holding us down for the past few years. Thank you so much, sir. So, gang, so we couldn't make it out the week without me bringing a couple of stories that was, But the reason I wanted to talk about, especially this first story, is because what we need not ever forget, in spite of what is happening in Los Angeles, in spite of what is happening currently in Washington, D.C., across this country, the police never stop killing us. Okay. Now, some of these names and some of these incidents may not make national news, right? They may not get picked up by the big podcast or a syndicated radio show. However, they're still happening and they deserve our attention. And at minimum, we need to know about them. So I want us to go to Norfolk, Virginia, to the Tidewater, okay? Norfolk, there was an incident involving a 31-year-old man. His name was Dwayne Harris. Now, the police was called on Dwayne for an alleged burglary call. Turns out Dwayne was actually at his ex-girlfriend's house trying to retrieve some of his items, but that's the smaller point. The bigger point is that the account offered up by the Norfolk police chief when he had to address the media about his officers shooting and killing a man, the police chief's version of events differed entirely from a neighbor from across the street's ring cam, which so happened to catch what happened. Okay. Police said Dwayne got out the car brandishing a gun. The video shows Dwayne never exiting the car. So, what is truth? So, I want us to go to when the story happened originally, and this was just August 2025, and let's check out the first reporting of it, and then there is an update. So let's go with the first one, Brother Will.
Exited the vehicle with a firearm in his hand. At some point, the male pointed the firearm at the police officers. The officers engaged the male in defense of themselves.
In a video 13 News Now obtained from a nearby resident who wishes to remain anonymous shows the moments just before Harris was killed. The person who took this video tells us they never saw Harris get out of the car and is concerned with how the incident is being outlined. Norfolk Police Department responded to reports of a burglary on Meadow Creek Road shortly after noon on Friday. When officers arrived, NPD Chief Mark Talbot said 31-year-old Dwayne Harris had a firearm and attempted to get away.
The officers saw the man had a firearm. He immediately jumped into a vehicle, fled the scene. Officers pursued the man for about 2 blocks.
That is when Chief Talbot says Harris got out of his vehicle with the firearm in hand and pointed it towards officers.
The man exited the vehicle with a firearm in his hand. At some point, the male pointed the firearm at the police officers. The officers engaged the male in defense of themselves. They fired several shots. The suspect ultimately was pronounced deceased on the scene.
In a video 13 News Now obtained from a nearby resident who wishes to remain anonymous shows the moments just before Harris was killed. The person who took this video tells us they never saw Harris get out of the car and is concerned with how the incident is being outlined. The video shows police cars surrounding Harris's vehicle as another officer shatters the windows. Moments later, another Norfolk police officer fired several shots into the car.
Now we have reached out to Norfolk Police Department as well as Harris's family for comment, and we are waiting to hear back. Layla Cox, 13 News Now.
It's quite a discrepancy, wouldn't you guys say? You see how the police chief got up there with the straightest of straight faces, even though he clearly was struggling and trying to make it all make sense. As the words are tumbling out of his mouth, he's realizing that, hey, this doesn't sound right himself, right? Yeah. 31-year-old Dwayne Harris tragically killed by police. And it's not clear that Dwayne was even armed, but what is clear is that the police have lied, and they have lied blatantly. And as we have seen time and time again on this platform, when there have been instances of police brutality, especially police murder of Black and brown people, disabled people, people experiencing mental health crisis, the very first story that the police tell is going to be riddled with lies. Okay, it's going to be nothing but lies. Oh, it's going to be so many lies. And you will see in subsequent days and weeks that as more evidence to the contrary gets revealed or discovered, these cops have to walk it back. They got to walk it back. They got to walk it back. And we've already seen the walking back of the story by the Norfolk Police Department because, again, there is irrefutable evidence to the contrary. There is video. And speaking of, I didn't hear the police chief in that package indicate that that his officers were wearing any body cameras, which, by the way, body cameras don't keep us safe at all. They don't prevent the police from fucking us up and or outright killing us. It provides a record, maybe. It provides, let's say, a limited record, because these cameras can be turned on and off at will by the officers themselves if there's things that they don't want recorded for the record. So anyway, there has been an update as of 3 days ago. That would be the 12th of August. So let's get the update, because the police chief acknowledged he might have told a whopper or three. And that's going to be the YouTube link, Brother Will, at your convenience.
Apology from Norfolk police after Friday's shooting. Reporting an apology from Norfolk police after Friday's shooting death of a man by officers.
We're also hearing from a loved one of the man shot. Our breaking news took us out to Meadow Creek Road, and that's where police say 31-year-old Dwayne Harris allegedly pointed a gun at them, and they were forced to open fire. Well, tonight, why the chief is apologizing about the information relayed to the public. 10 on Your Side's Madison Pierman has been working on the story and has new information. Madison?
Aisha, Tom, today I spoke with the family of Dwayne Harris. A video shows that what police initially shared happened wasn't entirely true. Norfolk's chief of police sat down to explain how that error could have happened and offer his condolences.
He was my go-to. Anything I needed done, I called Dwayne.
Katrina and Deborah are aunts to Dwayne Harris. On Friday, police say Harris was a home burglary suspect. Harris's aunts say it was his ex-girlfriend's house.
One of his buddies said that he was there to retrieve his belongings.
That call kicked off a brief pursuit of Harris, ending with Harris having a gun, being told by officers to get out of the car. He did not, and at one point, police shot and killed the 31-year-old.
He was having a hard time himself. It's hard for everybody, and everyone can't handle it. He was not a bad man.
After his death, Norfolk Police Chief Mark Talbot gave a press conference stating that Harris had gotten outside of the vehicle and pointed a gun at police. But video obtained by 10 on Your Side shows Harris never got out of the car. So we sat down with Chief Talbot to learn why the information in the video didn't match.
The process of getting briefed for an incident like that starts pretty much as soon as I'm heading there. That initial version is almost always going to change upon further investigation.
For the family, the story they heard sounded nothing like the Dwayne Harris they knew, but they want to hear from the chief after incorrect information made headlines. What would you like to hear from him?
An apology.
So when we sat down with Chief Mark Talbot, we asked him, was he sorry for the incorrect information?
Oh, I'm deeply sorry for their loss. And if any of the things that we've done or I've done increased their pain, I'm deeply, deeply sorry for that.
Now, Norfolk police are having Virginia State Police investigate to increase transparency and objectivity. We're going to continue to release details from that investigation when we receive them. Madison Pierman, 10 on Your Side.
So for the Norfolk police chief to sit there with a straight face and say, when asked, do you have an apology to offer to the family? Oh, I'm deeply sorry for their loss. I'm deeply sorry if there's anything that I said or my officers did that would have caused him pain. You mean like murdering her child? Are you sorry for that? Or are you sorry for being caught in some bullshit lie? Some attempt to spin the truth in a way that most favorably puts his officers in the clear for outright murder, right? Dwayne Harris never pointed a gun at officers like the police chief sat there and lied to the public and told the local news media. Dwayne Harris never did that. Dwayne Harris never exited his vehicle. I didn't even hear it confirmed that Dwayne Harris even had a gun. How did the officers see his gun if Dwayne never exited the vehicle? What made officers smash his window? And why, most importantly, did officers fire several shots into the car? And for the police chief to, again, with a very straight face, say, The story from the initial set of stories, relayed to him by his officers, he said that information is almost always going to change. The initial information first received or distributed, dispensed on the scene is almost always going to change. There's only one reason for the story to always change, for what the officers first tell their supervisors, their police chiefs after they have murdered a member of the community. The story that the officers always tell, the only reason it changes later after more investigation is because the first story is always a lie. Because obviously these cops always fucking lie. Like, what in the world kind of admission is that from a police chief to say that usually the set of events, again, as relayed to him by his own officers, right? Because we know they don't take what the word of the public has to say. I mean, police word is worth at least what, double, triple that of a civilian. The way that they like to gauge and carry things, right? These cops are always going to lie, especially when it comes to brutality, especially when it comes to them breaking the law, and especially when it comes to murder. I'm not assuaged. I'm not comforted at all that the Virginia State Police is instead going to take the lead on this investigation and not the Norfolk State Police. I didn't even hear, and silly me, maybe I should have. I'm assuming that these officers are on some sort of paid administrative leave, as is, standard operating procedure. When the cops murder somebody in the community, they get paid vacation. It's a really cool perk of the job, guys. You guys should really try it sometimes. Gosh, brokies, you guys need to get better gigs where you can kill people and go on vacation. The shit's totally rad. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on the story, y'all. I don't like it. Story stinks. I don't like it. I don't like how the police chief try to play it off, shrug it off. Oh, our bad. What? I won't. I don't know if his mama wants justice or vengeance. So let me say, we want resolution, and recompense to the family of Dwayne Harris. I won't say we want justice because I don't know if his mama wants justice. To be clear, y'all, I'm not wanting nothing to happen to me. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm very happy and non-unaliving. I'm not in the mood to unalive myself. I'm saying all that to say I'm fine, but I'm saying all that to say also, should something happen and there are some questionable circumstances about why, whatever happened, please don't get justice for me. Go get vengeance. Thanks so much. I don't want no justice. I don't want y'all asking the police to do no investigation. I want y'all to ask the streets who done it, and then I want y'all to respond accordingly. Okay? I don't need no fucking justice. I need vengeance. I need revenge. Speaking of revenge, I have another Cops Ain't Shit story. I'm gonna be brief here. Do me a favor, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is Burning Down with Kim Brown. We do this every Tuesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I love Chicago. Always interested in what's going on in Chicago. I know Chicago police ain't shit, and they continue to prove it to me in very interesting ways as well. Remember the story I brought to you guys earlier this summer about the June 5th shooting of Chicago police officer Crystal Rivera. Crystal Rivera and her police partner were out harassing Black people. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I'm sure they were out bothering Negroes, as police are wont to do. And so they pursued a man into a building, and the police allege that one or two men pulled out weapons on the cops, but yet Chicago police officer Crystal Rivera ended up shot and killed, not from the weapon of a rogue Negro off the street. No, she was shot and killed by her partner, by the other cop that was there on the scene with her. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, as I told you guys this, the cop that shot Crystal Rivera, her partner, was not charged in her murder. In fact, the two residents or the two alleged suspects that whatever they claim pulled out guns, neither one of them bust off a shot. They have been charged not with murder, but they have received lesser charges in connection to Crystal Rivera's death, which is crazy. And her partner was not charged. The partner's name is Carlos Baker, Officer Carlos Baker. Carlos Baker is a fairly young cop. I think he's only 29. And I think he's only been a Chicago police officer since 2021. But this motherfucker has got a relatively long reprimand record since he's been a Chicago police officer. And now he's got a whole body under his belt. And the body happens to be that of another Chicago cop. So he has been placed on medical leave. Carlos Baker has not been on the streets since he shot and killed Officer Crystal Rivera. So I guess he's just been kicking it and shit, right? So fast forward to August, in which there was an incident at a bar in Wicker Park. And again, I love Chicago, even the places where they don't want Negroes. it's like Wicker Park. Like, oh, it's so nice here. Oh man, it's nice. I love it. But anyway, so at a bar at Wicker Park, in Wicker Park area of the city, an off-duty woman police officer says that she was attacked and assaulted by a couple, a man and a woman. And I want you guys to take a guess if Officer Carlos Baker, why am I bringing up Officer Carlos Baker? Because Carlos Baker, thug ass, was all in this mix. And I can't even shorthand preface it for you. We just have to get into the first package. So now that you've got the skinny in part on Carlos Baker, listen to how this motherfucker is out in the city wilding out. Will, go ahead and run that first package for me, please.
Alleged female victim told investigators the man who attacked her had no idea she was an off-duty Chicago police officer. That man, identified in the police report, is the very same man who shot and killed his police partner on a call earlier this summer.
We pulled a single battery, but there's a log number that involves two officers.
By the time the call came, it had been hours since the alleged attack on this busy Wicker Park sidewalk Sunday night. Through a bloodied split lip at Rush Hospital, a 29-year-old police officer filed a police report of her own to colleagues who'd responded. The female officer said she'd been standing here outside District Bar and Grill on North Milwaukee Avenue, off-duty and waiting for a rideshare, when she says she was approached by a man and woman about a video she had taken in the bar. A police report obtained by the ABC7i team explained she told police the offenders demanded she delete the videos that were taken on her phone. The verbal fight, the officer said, turned physical when she says the man and woman jumped her and beat her in the face before strangers helped pull her to safety. The man identified in the police report is the very same officer who shot and killed Officer Crystal Rivera while responding to a call on June 5th. Chicago police maintain that officer fired accidentally. They're not naming the officer because he's not charged with a crime in either incident. As the I-Team reported last month, the 2024 disciplinary report from the Civilian Office of Police Accountability said the officer who shot and killed Officer Rivera had 5 previous complaints of misconduct where findings were sustained, and as a result, the officer faced 3 suspensions and 2 reprimands in just 4 years with CPD. 2 of the incidents were deemed preventable accidents.
The officer is already on paid administrative leave from the shooting earlier this year that killed Officer Crystal Rivera. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability is now investigating this alleged attack, but the officer is not in custody. We did reach out to his attorney for comment, but we've not heard back.
So that's interesting. That was from ABC News Chicago, which, by the way, I find extremely interesting that they have chosen not to name this officer, in spite of the fact that this officer is a very clear threat to public safety himself. While on duty, this man has earned enough reprimands and suspensions. And now he has a body under his belt that happens to be one of his fellow Chicago police officers. And now he is accused of outright beating another Chicago police officer in a public space on the street in front of people because she allegedly wouldn't delete a video that she recorded on her phone. So, according to this report, they decided to accost her, they being Officer Carlos Baker, even though not named by ABC News Chicago. Shame on the ABC News Chicago. So there's an update because let me tell y'all something. Cops like Carlos Baker, who continually get slaps on the wrist in spite of violating their own code of conduct as cops, right? Or even violating the law outright, because there is no real punishment for police, because police unions are so very strong and have so much political will, and the economic might comes with the police union and their representation. These cops that are so-called the bad apples in the bunch, they get to continue to be bad apples. No one stops them. They just get to keep on fucking shit up. So if you thought that Carlos has not had enough of a summer after he done killed a woman and has allegedly beat another woman, Carlos said, you know what, let me get in on this investigation of myself here because he can. So this is the latest update to the beating of an off-duty officer by another officer who is on administrative leave for killing another officer. Wow, Chicago, this is heavy. Will, go ahead and run that second package for me, please. Thank you.
All right, 1 second. It was stuck. Sorry.
No worries. But look at Carlos. Carlos is having a fucking hot ham summer. What can we call Carlos's summer, y'all? Since he done killed one woman and has allegedly beat another in brawl on a public street. Is he having a hot bacon summer? What do we call Carlos summer? Because this is a hot this nigga is a lunchbox. All of his woman co-workers should never go to lunch with fucking Carlos, man, because Carlos don't seem to like y'all lady cops. Something is the matter. And by the way, in this is it's on the channel somewhere, but when I covered the story about the shooting of Officer Crystal Rivera, her family has since come out and said that this shit doesn't look right. Her family is not happy that Officer Carlos Baker has not been charged in this in her killing. I don't know if I could.
I got it ready.
Okie dokie. So y'all, Carlos Baker having the hottest summer on earth. And he's not done yet. Carlos said, let me see what's up with some of that evidence, champ. Go ahead and run that for me, Will.
As you know, in our routine reporting, we often go to the locations that are listed in police reports. Right. We're looking for surveillance video or maybe somebody who knows something. And it turns out we might not be the only ones, because an employee at a neighboring business told us Carlos Baker called their shop, identifying himself as a police officer investigating the Sunday bar fight, where he is actually listed as a suspect, and asked for access to their surveillance cameras. Something experts tell us, if this is the same person, never should have happened.
Chicago police are investigating a Sunday night fight at District Bar and Grill in Chicago's Wicker Park. A 29-year-old off-duty officer telling them she was attacked by multiple people, including fellow officer Carlos Baker. An employee at a neighboring business who did not want to be on camera indicated Baker is using his position with police to launch his own investigation. That employee told us Baker called their shop, identifying himself as a CPD officer investigating the Sunday incident, one where he is actually listed as a suspect, and asked for access to their surveillance video. Not through CPD channels, not with a warrant. That employee showed us their caller ID, the Baker last name, a number, and a timestamp, 3:01 Wednesday, as news was breaking about the bar fight. We called that number.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Hi, I'm calling for Carlos, and left a voicemail. Minutes later, someone called back, identified himself as Carlos Baker, and asked me if our restaurant cameras are working and captured video of the Sunday event. My name is Sarah Maki. I'm a reporter with CBS News Chicago. As soon as I gave him my name and said we were with CBS News Chicago, he hung up. We were there in June as Baker arrived at a CPD location to answer questions about the deadly shooting of his partner, Crystal Rivera. Police have said he accidentally and fatally shot her during a foot chase June 5th. Baker was never charged criminally for Rivera's death, but was placed on paid administrative leave afterwards. One police source telling us any employee on administrative duty or medical leave is prohibited from participating in investigations. CBS News Chicago investigators have also found at least 10 complaints filed against Baker since he was hired in 2021. They include a variety of allegations ranging from excessive force to improper stops to unprofessional behavior.
Chicago police say Baker is on medical leave, but has not been stripped of police powers, meaning he has things like his badge and his service weapon. But again, any officer that is on that sort of status cannot participate in investigations. COPA, which is the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, have told us they are investigating that Sunday fight, and they did name Bart Baker as a part of it.
Incredible findings today that will certainly add to that investigation, and I know we will continue to follow it. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Big up to Sarah from CBS News Chicago. And I'm going to just say this because I thought it was a version of propaganda, a form of propaganda for ABC Chicago to know who Carlos Baker was. They know that he was a participant in that bar fight. They also know that he was the officer that shot and killed Crystal Rivera, but we're choosing not to name that officer now because he's not been charged with anything criminally. That's not the standard of journalism, and whether or not a person's name can be released, whether or not they have been charged. Maybe if you're talking about a minor, sure, but you're talking about not only an adult, but you're talking about a public servant, and you can verify their name and their identity and their connection to both of the events. So why not name them? Oh, right, because the news media likes to run interference, play defense, give the coppers the benefit of the doubt. Well, he's innocent until proven guilty. Okay, well, y'all don't run that same logic when it comes to persons accused of similar crimes who are not police. Why protect the cop? Why protect his identity? Shout out to CBS Chicago for naming the motherfucker, because clearly he's dangerous, even as an on-duty cop. 10 complaints, a number of infractions, a number of punishments, reprimands, suspensions, other types of accusations, in addition to him being a killer. I will reserve not calling him a murderer of Crystal Rivera, but he totally killed her. Okay, that's not even in dispute. And the fact that there are two other persons whose bullets from their alleged guns, whose bullets did not enter Crystal Rivera's body, the fact that there are two people charged in connection with this officer's death and neither one of those people are named Carlos Baker. Wow. Burn this motherfucker to the embers. Burn it down to the foundation. Get it the fuck out of here. My guess is ain't shit gonna happen to Carlos Baker. And on some level, I kind of have a the teeniest of tiniest sliver of empathy for the woman officer who allegedly got jumped and assaulted by him, because she's going to find out ain't shit going to happen to Carlos Baker. If ain't shit happened to him for him murdering a fellow officer, what's a couple punches to the face? That's between bros. that's how the police communicate with one another, through fisticuffs. Okay, I'm sorry. Give me a white girl's name real quick. What's a white girl's name? Give me a white girl's name. None of the white girls that we're friends with. Shenandoah. I don't fucking know. Ain't no Chicago, no proper Chicago white woman is named Shenandoah. I apologize to Chicago white women. Regardless. Her is going to find out real quick that, baby, they don't give about cop bitches either, okay? Carlos Baker, Chicago, be on the lookout for him. He's a dangerous guy. And he still has his badge and his gun. So as far as Carlos is concerned, what is that little medical leave that y'all talk about? Carlos has his badges and his gun. Carlos is still a cop out here. And please believe he is going to carry himself as though he is still a police with all police powers and police pistols. Chicago, you've been warned. Thanks so much, gang. We're in the final stretch. I'm about to get y'all out of here on some good news. So, crime is a relative term, okay? Crime is defined by the elites. People like Trump get to determine what crime is, right? Marijuana consumption on the streets of Washington, D.C. on non-federal property is totally legal, yet Washington residents are being told that it is now illegal. So crime is relative, right? And in my opinion, sometimes people who do things in order to survive, let's say shoplifting or sex work or something along those lines, you know, I don't perceive those as crimes. Those are actions people are undertaking in order to survive, in order to eat and remain housed and have all the things that humans absolutely deserve. So when I bring you guys this next story, I want you to know off the rip, I have no problem with it. In fact, part of the reason I'm bringing you the story is because I'm impressed, okay? And if I have been accused of having admiration for criminals, well, then I stand accused because I'm rocking with this shit. Philly! They say Big Rich is in the chat. Philly! They say Infinite Content's in the chat. Philly! This is for y'all, okay? And actually, this is not even Philly proper. This actually happened in the suburb of Cheltenham. I actually know Cheltenham, Pennsylvania. How do you know Cheltenham, Kim? Because when I first went to Temple University, Temple did not have on-campus housing on Temple's main campus. So they put me out at the Tyler School of Art in Elkins Park, Cheltenham, Pennsylvania, which is out there at the end of Broad Street. And you make a left and then a couple rights, and you're there at the Tyler School of Art campus, Temple University. So I was out there in Cheltenham for a couple months and walked around Elkins Park, etc. So when I heard the story and I was familiar with the area, I said, oh, okay, cool. So I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm going to let the package speak for itself. But I want you guys to just appreciate a couple things as you're listening to the story. The elite level of professionalism by the alleged criminals, first of all. The public safety precautions taken by the alleged criminals, second of all. And bitch, the haul, the haul, the HAUL, the haul that these alleged criminals were able to get away with. Will, let us check out the package. Thank you so much.
News in Cheltenham, where police are on the scene of an armored car heist. This happened just a few hours ago near the intersection of Old York Road and Cheltenham Avenue. The suspects reportedly made off with more than $500,000. Action News reporter Walter Perez is live at the scene with new information on what we know right now. Walter.
That's right, Alicia. The Brinks truck involved has just been removed by investigators, and those investigators believe that this armored car heist might be linked to other previous armored car heists across the region over the past several weeks and months. Joining me live right now is Lieutenant Andy Snyder from the Cheltenham Police Department. And Lieutenant, what can you tell me about what happened here at 10:30 this morning?
So about 10:30 this morning, we received a 911 call about a robbery that just occurred of an armored car that had just made a delivery here at the H Mart at Cheltenham Avenue and Old York Road in the Elkins Park section of Cheltenham. The delivery driver, armored car driver, stated that she had exited the vehicle, was approached by two men. One was armed with an AK-style rifle, the other with a handgun. They ordered her to turn over her weapon and then took about between $700,000 to $800,000 in cash from the armored car. That vehicle then fled westbound on Cheltenham Avenue into Philadelphia.
And there's reason to believe, as I mentioned, that this might be linked to other similar robberies.
Yeah, we've had other robberies in the area over the last couple of months, and the MO matches of the other similar robberies that we're investigating as possibly being tied to those incidents as well.
Do we have a description of the vehicle involved, and was there any video?
Yeah, so we're looking for a black Acura TLX, 4-door with tinted windows. And we are still obtaining video from both the armored car itself as well as from the shopping center here of the suspects as well as the vehicle.
Anybody injured?
There were no injuries. Fortunately, there were no shots fired. Nobody was injured, and the best possible outcome for everybody. As you can imagine, a scenario like this is very, very dangerous when there's firearms involved. Could be, somebody in the area that doesn't see what's going on gets involved in a gunfight. So we're definitely concerned this could escalate to somebody getting seriously injured or even worse, murdered.
And this is a concern because these guys are heavily armed, and it seems like they're gaining confidence. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, now this is 4 or 5 incidents we've had. A AK style rifle is definitely not something that you'd want to mess with. So, the stakes are very high for everybody.
All right, Lieutenant, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. So once again, another armored car heist, this time in Cheltenham. We'll have much more on this story coming up on Action News starting at 4. Reporting live from Cheltenham, Walter Perez, Channel 6 Action News. Back to you.
Yeah, that H Mart, a very well-known, popular store, very, very busy at all times. Well,
Yes.
really nice that the police could give us an update live on the air. Thank you for that.
I have thoughts, beloved. I have thoughts as I'm watching that package for the second time. Who are these armored car heisters? They actually sound like they could be police. Maybe that's why I'm so impressed with the professionalism. Well, actually, hold on. Cops out here are sloppy as shit. They probably definitely would have let it shut off and killed somebody by now. But anyway, so that's that. So we had two theories. One, this could be the police being these successful armored car robbers, or they could be Fire Fam members. so if I heard the news correct, because the reason I think that this has big Fire Fam energy, and I know we got Fire Fam contingent up in Philadelphia A, and I can't say I'm encouraging this kind of action, but I'm definitely not discouraging it, especially if you can pull that shit off as smooth as these folks did. Not a shot fired, nobody injured. The story sounds a little fishy to me. I mean, $700,000 to $800,000 is a fuck ton of money. And by the way, gang, usually when it comes to bank robberies, armored car heist robberies, ATM robberies, when they crack open the ATM, it is kind of unusual for media outlets to report out a number, the amount that was actually gotten by the robbers, right? News outlets, I believe, were discouraged by police departments from reporting out the number, the actual dollar amounts that were absconded, because other people might be like, shit, for $700,000, I'd definitely knock over a brick truck. Right? So normally they don't usually report the numbers. So for this police chief officer, the nigga from Cheltenham Police, for him to freely offer up, oh yeah, they got away with $750,000. Wow. Now let me tell y'all something. So real quick, the slight, I don't think that they've caught these robbers yet. The latest update I heard is that the vehicle that was in question that they were searching for, the black Acura, they found it abandoned in Philadelphia in Fairmount Park. I said, okay. Okay, we might be some Philadelphians trying to reenact dead presidents out here. Okay, I'm with it, Philly. Let's get rowdy. And by the way, just in case any of my viewers did that shit, run us some bucks. Like, what are y'all doing? You can't be sitting on that. What y'all can't spend all that $700,000 all by y'all goddamn self. Y'all better run the platform a few dollars out here. You know what I'm saying? We love it. We support the action. We appreciate the fact that there was no violence incurred. But hold on, let me run this back. That's why I have it sounds a little fishy, because okay, so quiet as is kept, there do be armored car heist and robberies and stick-ups in the DC area. In fact, there was, my impression, there was at least one or two successful bank robbery rings that I don't think the feds ever caught up with, to be honest. Like, usually, anyway, if you ever hear a story about a bank robbery and you never hear another follow-up story about it, it's because them niggas never got caught, okay? Okay? So the armored cars in this area had to smarten up, right? So not only is the driver strapped, but they got niggas in the back of the bank truck, the Brinks truck or whatever truck it is, also armed. And they supposedly have, you know, like a method to see outside of the truck. So if there is a problem with the driver, if the driver is encountering, you know, an attack or an assault in some way, there are armed personnel in the back of the Brinks truck. But some of these banks actually took it a step further locally around here. I don't know if they're doing this in other places in the country. There will be an unmarked vehicle following the armored car with more armed guards in it. So to knock off an armored truck in this area will be very difficult because not impossible apparently, but very difficult because there's probably at least 3 to 4 to 5 guns accessible and ready to defend that armored truck in its contents around here. So to hear of a Brinks truck carrying that much cash and you got one driver armed, you know how clearly it is to quickly disarm one person. That sounds like an inside job, kids. Either it's an inside job or the cops did it. Or somebody has some inside information. But if it was an actual civilian, like a member of the public, send some of that this way. Send it over here. Send us a couple dollars. Redistribute. Listen, we have no issues with the state or corporations, not really so much the state because, well, in the state's hopefully ideal iteration, it is assisting the people, though oftentimes this state is not. But corporations, banks, take that. No diddy, but take that. No diddy, but take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. You're not gonna get caught. Take that. Take that. That was a really good job. So shout out to thems who did that thing in Cheltenham and got away with the bag. Good. That was really good work. So Will, I'm going to hold that other palate cleanser until next week. We are going to cop it off here, yop it off. So kids, I want to thank you all so much. Will, did I see some more boxes roll up? I thought I saw some blues.
Yep. Spoke infinite content up. He said he was, I guess, referring to the other story. This dude is not only an unaliver but a woman beater, and the streets ain't addressed him yet. Real facts right there. Another comment, he said, man, he's fast tracking. This is his way to chief with all these crimes and corruptions. The mob ain't as corrupt as Carlos, the woman beater. He going in. And last but not least, I wasn't involved in the heist, and even if I did, I'll never tell. He heard you.
I wasn't trying to implicate you. I wasn't trying to implicate you, Infinite. You know, I know you are a law-abiding citizen out here. You know what I'm saying? And no, don't tell. Just send the money. Nobody has to tell anything. You don't have to reveal nothing. Confess, admit, no, I am not that person for that. You can just redistribute in the ways that you see fit, hopefully, and you will find it fit. So, gang, thank you all so much. Shout out to everyone that supported us tonight. And if you want to continue to support, we will gladly take your money. BIDWKB, you can find us on Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, patreon.com/BIDWKB. Thanks to all that not only support the platform, but also support Black Liberation Media. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in to Saturdays with Renee, 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. And appreciations going out to all that supported Classical Breakdown this week with my bruv, the ear doctor, and special guest Musa and Jacqueline Lukman. We talked about Black rock and roll, Black punk, Black everything, because we're all, well, not Naka, but not Air Doctor, but me, Jackie, and Musa are rock heads. And I learned so much from Jackie and Musa, and I've got some exploring to do inside of my streaming platform for some Black rock stuff. So thank you all to everyone that tuned in and supported. So I will holla at y'all on Tuesday. Please be safe out here. Washingtonians, especially be safe. Los Angelinos, please especially be safe. I mean, everybody be safe, but the places in which you know that the shit is heightened, that it's more tense, things are more precarious, and the pigs are being, more petty, more intense, more scrutiny, not letting shit slide. Just move accordingly out here. Don't move fearfully. Don't move, as though you are not supposed to be out here taking up space, but just move accordingly. That's all I can say. I love you guys. Please be safe. Thank you so much to Will and Molly. Y'all be good out here, Fire Fam. Peace to the mods and the earths. Peace to all the mods and the earths. Love you guys. Deuces. See y'all later. Bye-bye.